Hello, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard a lot about dark times, I guess, this evening, but we do live in rather dark times where everybody is picking their tribe and talking about who they can relate to and who they can't relate to. You've got a lot of people out there making a very loud noise about that kind of thing. It's only now people are really interested in the possibility of somewhere like Canada as a model for future societies. It's humane on the whole, it's liberal, all its taboos are buried way, way down so most people don't have to bother about them. And it's a functional democracy, which you can't say that everywhere now because of the nature of reality. Reality, remember that stuff? Some of you will remember another reality. Some of you old enough to have a then. A lot of you are very young. All you know is now. I'm talking about the people who know the internet. And that's really most of what they know. That's how you grew up. There was a time when things were different. For us, we had to make decisions. And we had to relate to everybody, you know? Because even when you wanted to meet somebody for a date, you couldn't do it online the way you can now. Everybody meet online. That's how, when future generations turn around to their mother and father, say, how did you guys meet? They'll all say, we met on lonelymofo.com. It's the only way human beings ever encounter each other. In that sense, we did crazy stuff. We walked up to one another in bars. We said things like, hey, how are you? Sometimes we didn't take biometric samples. We would just go home together and stay there because it was so difficult to get in touch. Because all we had were building phones. These were phones in buildings. You would go to the building and make a call to another building, hoping that somebody else was by that phone. And sometimes they weren't. There was a tricky period, known as the tricky period, when there were no answer machines. Some of you won't even know what I'm talking about when I say an answer machine. An answer machine was a thing we didn't have when we needed it. And instead, you would have to call and leave a message of longing with a total stranger. You would have to say things like, hello, is Pamela there? No? Well, tell her I think of nothing else. Click. And if you did actually get on, you would stay together because it was just so difficult to reach each other again. It's not like now when, you know, there's all these different gender identities even. They're the new sexual tribes, people identifying themselves as something other than what we had words for before. We didn't know how to describe people of any kind of variety. There was just men and women. There weren't transsexual or intersex or any of these things. This was a time of nicknames in Ireland in the 70s. Nobody's identity was recognized with his proper name. We didn't have the vocabulary then. People would just say, oh, look, it's Kevin with the shoes. He's very good on that hula hoop, aren't you, Kevin? That's all they knew. It wasn't like now. But the thing is, people are so big on their differences, they forget what unites us. Because nature deals with everybody fairly. It doesn't really matter how you describe yourself if you're on your way from one identity to another, or going back for something else, or looking to double up. Whatever you're doing, nature has given you the same material between your legs as everybody else. Everybody gets the same deal. We all have the same stuff. Bits of squid rolled in nose hair. That's all you get. And all of it mysteriously aged. That's what we get. And that is why we dream of being better than we are. But we can't be. You look at the shower ads where they're selling you the shampoo, and you dream of being like these people. But you can't be. They're selling you a positive body image. They say, if you buy this, you'll have that, but you won't. You've seen images of yourself in the shower. You know you don't look like those people, those sexualized pieces of caramel squeezing themselves, trying to make bigger bubbles and turning away from you so you don't see how fabulous it all actually is. You know what you look like in a shower. You look like a pig in a typhoon in a phone box, having a panic attack, because that's who you are. And yet you still turn from reality. You can't deal with it. Trump is president, and that's what you look like, and you can't take it. But you know, it doesn't matter. You end up, time goes by, and you relate to more and more people. You don't worry about it so much. You don't look for a particular tribe. You relate to everybody. You even relate to animals. Because you get to be over 40 and you're allowed to watch television more. You can sit around. If it's an animal program or a documentary, people will leave you alone. If somebody walks in and they say, what are you watching? You say, it's a nature program. It's David Attenborough. He's talking about animals and stuff. Okay, I'll leave you alone then. Because it's all education. And then recently, David was talking about the giant sea sponge, and I thought, oh, this is going to bore the hell out of me. I can't relate to a sea sponge. I can relate to all the other animals. What's this guy? He's got nothing. But then he started talking about him saying, and here, the sea sponge is reacting to stimuli. And I thought, I do that. I do that all the time. Neither of us have abs. We both hate mornings. It was amazing. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.